All right, Israel. So most high Christ bless everybody. All right. All right. So all praises Israel to the Most High for giving us the spirit to come here and fellowship, keep His commandments, learn what His will is, and also learn about the dedication of the altar, where we've had trouble with the Greeks, known as the Esau, the Edomites, under the banner of the Americans today. So let's go back to the book of Maccabees where we left off at, right? We'll try and get through as much as this we possibly can. Where do we stop at? 44, 45, somewhere around there. First Maccabees 144. That's where it was. For the king, so that king is Antiochus, had sent letters by messenger unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah that they should follow the strange laws of the land. So the precept says that the laws and rights of the strangers of the land, because the law of the land was the 10 commandments, the statutes, the precepts, the judgments, and things like that. But it was the strangers that brought in the strange laws. Okay. Now, verse 45, and forbid burnt offerings, because the burnt offerings were offerings that were sacrificed in lien of the Most High judging us. So we had a law of animal sacrifice. Now, in today's world, that might sound kind of strange and funny because you don't live in a spiritual environment. You know, the slaughter an animal and burn it up and destroy it. See, because what that represents the destruction of us from sinning against the spiritual God Yahweh, whom the world calls Lord God. So the Greeks wanted to, they stopped. They say, that's forbidden. I forbid you to do that. Remember, we read in Judith, the 5th chapter, that they didn't want us to keep God's commandments, because if you keep God's commandments, then spiritually, God will defend you, because God loves commandment keepers and He hates commandment breakers. So many of us, we are in a place to where we are breaking God's commandments. What do you do when you're breaking His commandments? You have to repent. You have to acknowledge that what you're doing is wrong, and then you must stop. You must not continue to do it another time. Cold turkey, stop. Because tomorrow may very well be too late. The Bible tells you not to put off from day to day. That's in the book of Sirach, chapter 5. We in First Maccabees, chapter 1, and verse 45, where the Greeks were forbidden you to sacrifice unto the Most High. And if you were that's like telling you not to pray. Remember, we went to the book of Daniel in the last lesson, and we're showing you that no, you couldn't even pray to the Most High. As a matter of fact, when you heard the music from the dulcimer and all those other instruments, that you were to drop down and worship the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. It's the same thing to when you're doing right now at the national anthem. They're the same people. They are the children of the ones that I'm talking about. They got the same rhythm. So you can be at an event and all of a sudden, dun, 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 then you got to stop whatever you're doing and you got to face it. Instead of it being an image, is now it's an allegiance of flag saying all the nations that these guys have accumulated together on one accord. And if you down with them, you're going to stop, you're going to face that flag, you're going to cross your heart, and you're going to comply. It's the same thing. Okay? So forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, that they should profane the Sabbath day. What is profane the Sabbath day? Do wicked things on the Sabbath days. Right now, today, you don't have to tell the so-called black man and black woman, the so-called Latino woman and the Latino Hispanic man. You don't have to tell them to profane the Sabbath. They're going to get up and go to the barber shop, the beauty shop, get nails done, get their lashes done, get a massage, go work out. They're going to go to the cookout. They're going to go grocery shopping. They're going to do yard work. They got extra side work to do. They're naturally profaning the Sabbath. So you are living out Antiochus's dreams and wishes, and this guy is in the grave. And hundreds of generations later, we're still doing the work of the Gentiles. It has to stop. And festival days, so profane festival days, meaning not respect them according to the Bible. And pollute the sanctuary. How do you pollute the sanctuary? By being a bad person. By coming and doing things that you're not supposed to be doing. You have some people, they'll come to church high. Some people will come to church drunk. When I say church, I mean the Israelite assemblies, the assemblies in the Most High. I'm not talking about Antiochus' modern day Christianity. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the biblical sanctuaries that serve God in spirit and truth and that follow the Most High according to the scriptures. That's no cult. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the right way to do it. And yet there are people that will come in the wrong mind state. You're not supposed to be getting high at all. Defiling your temple. Neither you're not supposed to let drunkenness go with you. If you're going to have a drink, stay at home. Drink at home. And if you happen to go out to a restaurant that serves wine or serves strong drink or beer or whatever, have a few and then that's it. No, stop before you even get to the limit, testing your limit. You don't need to be like, I ain't drunk. If you're saying that, you are drunk. All right? Now, so pollute the sanctuary and holy people. So how do you pollute holy people? By encouraging them, urging them to sin, teaching them to sin, and doing sinful things with them and around them. Okay? Encourage them to do wrong. Set up altars. What is an altar? An altar is a place of worship and sacrifice of something that people believe in. So now there are altars that are set up still today. So they had them to set up altars in groves. Groves is an assembling place of worship. In chapels of idols. Okay, you go into this chapel and you see a standing figure erected, or you see a figure on the wall, or you see a figure standing as a statue. And sacrifice swine's flesh. So swine's flesh, which is a pig, was against the biblical laws of the Most High for dietary. It has a job. It's like a vacuum cleaner. That's what the swine is. It's a vacuum cleaner. But instead, it cleans the wastelands. Why do you think that they run wild? Called the boar. They run wild They eat carcasses of dead animals and things like that. Okay? It's a vacuum cleaner. And now people are eating it. And unclean beasts. And there are other beasts that are not good for food consumption. Okay? Shrimp, crab, lobsters, catfish, any type of shellfish. If it doesn't have fins, the little floppers on the side, and it doesn't have scales, how many of us, when I was a child, from time to time, people would, come by my house, see my mom, and they would bring fish and or go to the market, and you'd have to clean the fish. Anybody, here ever cleaned some fish or had somebody to clean some fish around them? Right, them scales be jumping all over the place. You rake them off. That's a lawful fish. It has to have the fins, floppers, and it has to have the scales. See, the creator of these beasts, he knows, you know, he knows the eating habits of these beasts. And so if we eat the beast that he tells us to eat, then it should go well with our digestive system and it should go well in our bloodstream and things like that. You know how you can put something liquid form, like a beer or something or a strong drink, you can drink that and you can put that in your system, and then all of a sudden you feel intoxicated. Well, an unclean beast is doing the same thing. The thing is, it's not as potent as a strong drink, but it is doing something on the inside of you. And because you season it, it's really the seasons on meats that you like. Because you season it and you continue to eat it over and over, you really liking the season of it, not really realizing that the other portion that's inside of the bloodstream is actually doing something. You see, our bodies in the beginning, God made them to be eternal. Eternal is forever. It's an infinite number. But however, because he put a cap on it, now that cap was 120. So just imagine something 100 years old. We get an admiration when you find out something is way up in age like that. Well, the organs that you got, are meant to go the distance like that. And so when you challenging it with unclean things or toxics, like we were talking about for the unclean beast, it's not affected in the beginning. But as you get up in age, now we begin to have problems out of our internal organs and things like that. That's because we put them through decades of abuse, not really knowing that you are abusing because the signs wasn't there. It was strong in the beginning, but after 3 decades, 4 decades, now you have all these internal problems. So we got to kick the unclean beast. Okay. So First Maccabees chapter 1, now 48, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised. Uncircumcised meaning it was a literal circumcision that was supposed to happen to our males. And that was to bring them under the covenant that the Lord God had gave to Abraham to teach his children about him and about his laws, statutes, and the commandments. So teaching the children about God was to continue to develop the nation of Israel to be the world global superpower to run the world. Like Christ said, go to the book of Matthew, chapter 5, very quickly. All right. The book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse 14. Verse 13, it says, ye are the salt of the earth. See, keeping the commandments of the Most High and teaching your children solidifies you being the salt of the earth. There's nothing, salt makes everything taste better. So salt will make this planet, you being the salt and savored with the Most High's laws, statutes, and his commandments, if your example and humility towards the Most High, your faith towards the Most High, all of those things infused in everyday society was supposed to rub off on the whole planet Earth. It doesn't matter what nation they from, what language they speak, what people. You were the examples. Okay? So teaching your children this is what the Most High wanted, but the nations did not want that. Okay? Now, verse 14, ye are the light of the world, guys. You're the light of the world. So that's how important it is for us to teach our children the commandments and teach them about the Most High and teach them who they are and what their purpose in life is. What is the purpose of the life of an Israelite child? To serve God. What is the purpose? To fear God and keep his commandments. What is the purpose of a young Israelite male? To be raised up and be the Most High's prophets. What does a prophet do? A prophet stands in the gates and prophesies and tells the Israelites the good news. You don't just bash people and cut them and offend them and insult them. No, you tell them that there's a place to repent, and you show them a better way, and you offer guidance, and you offer help and direction and leadership if they want it. And you foretell about the future, about what the Most High has in store for them when they repent. You teach them about the gift of God, which is eternal life. You prophesy about the resurrection from the dead. You prophesy about the new Jerusalem. You prophesy about a new heaven. You prophesy about a new earth. You prophesy that you have next, that we got next, and that there is a better way, and that the Lord will help them. Okay? And you tell them, you are the light of this world, and you must start with your people. Okay? The Bible says in the book of Ezekiel, get thee to them of the captivity. So you go into the ones that are captives and you tell them what the Most High said. And so we as men, that's where we have to start, and we have to set that example for our children so that they can see, hey, this is where I'm going. I'm going to serve the Lord. Well, where are you going, Dad? I got to go to the school. I got to go to the sanctuary. I got this to do. I got that to do. I have to go to camp. I got the counselor. I got the advice. I'm going to talk to this brother. I'm going to help this family. I'm going to show this sister where the other sisters are so that she can get in line, so that she can learn on what to do and how to do it, this, that, and the third. All of these things your children are watching. Your children are so important. When you have children, it's no more about you, it's about your children. You have to teach them. So let's lose that so we can get back. So this is First Maccabees chapter 1 and 48. They should also leave their children uncircumcised, untaught. Do not leave your children untaught. The book of Deuteronomy, the 6th chapter, tells you to teach your children at all times. Let's get that very quickly. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6 and verse 4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord, and thou shalt love the Lord with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy might. So we're supposed to be in love with God, the Most High, Yahweh. What about him do we supposed to love? His righteous ways and how he has taught us how to choose the good and refuse the bad. Because choosing the good makes it work, makes everything work. Choosing the good gives us success. Choose the good gives us success. Choosing the bad gives us regrets. Choosing the bad gives us regrets. And this message to the young You can choose today and pay for it years later. So you're going to need to learn to take counsel, instruction, and advice. You need to learn to take some counsel, some instruction, and some advice so that you don't rend, meaning tear yourself, meaning be upset later on in life when you have chosen the bad because you would not listen. All your elders are in your life. There are elder brothers, there are elder sisters. We're in your life for a reason. Let our days speak to you. Okay? Let our days speak to you. Let our experiences lead and guide you. We care for you. We care for what's right. And the love that you want to have for the Most High, we have it. We love the Most High. We love His ways. We don't have any problems with His ways. You might have problems with His ways, but we don't have problems with His ways. We agree. We take the good and the bad. So you can learn a thing or two or three. Okay? So you love Him with all your might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thy heart. Deuteronomy 6 and 7. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children. So you have to drive them into your children. When I say drive, meaning have conversations about what's right and what's wrong. Children will buck up because they live in a wicked environment, the same wicked environment that we all live in. And so children will be attracted to foolishness because the devil knows how to make it interesting. The devil knows how to spread with color and make it sound fun and so on and so forth. Okay? So you have to be diligent when you teach your children. And thou shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thy house. So when you're in your house, talk to the children about the commandments. When thou walkest by the way and you see something right, talk to your children about something right. When you see something wrong, point it out. I raised my children doing this. Okay? And when thou liest down, you sending them to bed, talk about the scriptures. All right? And when thou risest up. You see, so this is a repeat, never ending, continual, perpetual cycle of dealing with your children. You're not to have babies and push them to the side. You're not to have babies and be less concerned. Okay? Now, let's lose that. First Maccabees 148, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised. Look at the difference between what they want and what the Most High wants. So when you leave your children uncircumcised, then also they want you to bring your children in today's world. They want you to bring your children to them and let them teach your children. And then teach your children manners and teach them behavior, teach them about God. They took God out. Yeah. When I was a child, the Bible was in the school. They used to, I think we used to say the 10 Commandments and stuff like that. There was nothing wrong with that. Not now. And make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation. Uncleanness is things that the Lord said no, and profanation means evil. Okay? That's why a lot of people have bad behavior because they are without the commandments of God. If you wonder, like, what's wrong with these children? I see it all the time. Well, what's wrong with these adults? What's wrong with this woman? You know, what's wrong? What's wrong with these men? They are victims of this. To the end, they might what? Forget the law. So the whole purpose is to get you to forget the law by allowing you to be able to do whatever it is you want to do, when you want to do it, and how you want to do it. And change all the ordinances. See, they've been changed the ordinances of the Most High. What ordinance? Just to name a few. The Sabbath day is the seventh day of the week from even to even. Not the first day of the week. That was changed. What else was changed? Diet. Oh, you can eat anything. You can't eat anything, or else you will destroy the law. And Christ said in same chapter 5, think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. I have not come, is what he said, to destroy, but to fulfill. And what did he fulfill? The prophecies that was written of him that he would come. Okay? So, and whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said, meaning the king said he should die. In the self same manner wrote he to his whole kingdom. So what is his whole kingdom? His his whole kingdom are those people that enlisted to follow him. Those people that he agreed, right, bro? And appointed overseers over all the people. What is an overseer? An officer. Now it's called an officer. See? The same way right now today. An officer. Okay. You drive down the street, you see an officer. That overseer is there to make sure that you obey the king's laws. Okay. Commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice, city by city. See, guys, you can't imagine that this is, that this is real. Oh, I lost my conference.
Hello. Please enter your six-digit conference code. Welcome to free conference calling. We will now connect you to your call. You are the first attendee in this conference. Your host has joined.
Yeah.
Conference recording started.
Yeah, you can't imagine that this is real. To where in ancient days, they went city by city, making you do it. They're making you do it. It's not impossible. Okay? They did it then. Then many other people were gathered together. They were gathered unto them, to wit, everyone that forsook the law. So you had a lot of Israelites coming out to deal with them. But who were they? Everybody that forsook the law. So who in today's world, who do you see gathering and following the customs and philosophies of the people? Everybody that forsake the law. Go to the book of Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 28, I think. Proverbs 28 and verse 4. It says, they that forsake the law praise the wicked. They that forsake the law praise the wicked. So everybody that does not keep the commandments of the Most High, you love these nations. You love them. You praise the wicked. See, in Maccabees, when they forsook the law, they assembled themselves to the wicked, to the agenda of the wicked, because they wanted to follow it. Because in their mind, it was like, let's have some fun. Even though we just took a slaughter, you can talk to people today about the slaughter of the so-called Native American Indians, and people just won't care. They'll still say, well, it doesn't mean that to me. Thanksgiving, they'll say, it doesn't mean that to me. And they'll still keep it. It doesn't mean that to me. They're going to forsake the law and they're praising the wicked. It doesn't mean that to me. Oh, it's a time that we all got off work. We're going to meet at mom's house. And yeah, mom is keeping the same ritual with the turkey and cranberry. So we don't want to praise the wicked. We don't want to. We don't want to love the wicked. Neither do we want to forsake the laws of God. We want to keep the laws of God. Okay. So now, First Maccabees chapter 1, and verse the end of 52. And so they committed evils in the land and drove the Israelites into secret places, even wheresoever they could flee for succor. Succor means safety. So they drove people out of the land to where they had to leave their houses. What do you think gonna happen now in the 21st century? What you think gonna happen when you can't buy or sell? What you think gonna happen? What do you think that's gonna be like? You're gonna be driven from your house. You live in a state that gets freezing cold. You don't turn it. There's no heat. Your pipes bust. How many people in here has turned their furnace on so far in their houses? That's almost everybody. See? And it was 60 degrees today or more. What you think is when it gets down to single digit, you can't stay in there. So what you gonna do? You're gonna be driven from your house. You can't start a fire inside the house. Start a fire inside the house, you're gonna burn the house up. Fires in the winter come from people trying to set a fire, keep warm inside of a building. We're gonna be driven from our house. If we don't get out in front of this and have a fallout plan, it's gonna be doomsday. What do you think I've been saying for how many years now, bro? What do you think all this is about, guys? Ain't nobody playing with you. I ain't chasing nothing but the plan. I ain't chasing nothing but the plan. Not chasing the bag that don't have no habits. I'm already married, so I don't need to chase a woman. I'm chasing the plan. I'm trying to gather the plan. I'm trying to see the plan. So that when it happens, okay, guys, rally up. It's time. And drove the Israelites to secret places, even wheresoever they could flee for safety. Now, the 15th day of the month, Caslu, in the 145th, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar. Now, this is what Daniel was talking about. He was prophesying to Nebuchadnezzar that this would happen. And builded idol altars throughout the cities of Judah on every side. Hey guys, doesn't this sound and look so familiar? You drive down the street, and that church is next to each other. There's churches on every side in the same neighborhood, only in your community. But wait a second now. Pay attention what I'm going to say. You go to a European town, you go to a white town. It's not always like this, but this is what comes to mind. You go to a white town, and there's one church in town, and everybody go to that church right there. But why does the children of Judah have to have churches on every street? It don't even matter. They don't even have to look good. It just has to say some denomination of church. You ever ask yourself, why is that? Like these guys, like they can't get along. Why you guys can't get along? Next door, across the street, half a block down. Okay, verse 55. And burn incense at the doors of their houses and in the streets. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law, that's the Bible, which they found, they burned them with fire. So the Greeks, the forefathers of the people that you know today, took the scriptures, tore them in pieces, and burned it up. Why would somebody display so much hatred like that for something that our people are running around now saying they wrote? Why would they do that if they wrote it? They wrote the Constitution. You don't see them turn that up and burning it, right? Okay. And whatsoever was found with any of the book of the Testament, or if any consulted to the law or consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should be put to death. Thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month, to as many as were found in the cities. Yeah. Right, Jeremiah? Now, the 25th day of the month, they did sacrifice upon an idol altar, which was upon the altar of God. So the altar that the priesthood would set up to do the sacrifices, they came and put the idol altar that they had built, they stacked it on top of it. They said, you don't need this altar. We're going to do something different. At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised. So there were sisters that loved the Most High and was used to keeping the commandments, and they circumcised their children anyway. Those sisters got put to death. I pray the Lord bless those sisters because they died in Him. They died doing the right thing, keeping the covenant. So those that die gonna rise first. So that's a beautiful thing. That's a good thing right there. Verse 61. And they hanged the infants about their neck. God took our little children and hung them, killed the woman and hung the children. That's mercy. That's no mercy at all. And rifled their houses, meaning they went through it, ramshacked it, looted it, and took everything. Like our people was nothing. But what brought this? Sin. When our people were sinning, they never knew that the Most High was pronouncing this type of evil against them. Hey guys, that's why we literally supposed to fear the Most High and not want nothing to come, because it's gonna come. If you in your wickedness, and nobody gonna be able to save you. I know that sounds scary, but I tell you the truth, somebody gotta tell you. Because if it's one person out there, or two persons, or three persons, or whomever, and you out there, here in this example, Israel was doing the wrong thing. This is why this happened to them. See, this go all the way back to the spirit where the Most High was trying to show us. All it takes is one person for the Most High to be vexed about, of Israel and say, hey, that person was a Chan. Are you a Chan? The best thing that we can do is take heed, do the right thing, and continue to let the scriptures come out without, you know, thinking that the scriptures is not fulfilling. It's fulfilling for whom it need to fulfill. Some of you, I know it's scary. That's because you're doing something you ain't supposed to be doing. And others, you agree and you understand that this is the terms of the servitude that you're in. They hang their infants about their necks, rifled their houses, and slew them that had circumcised them. Howbeit, many in Israel were resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing. So in that verse right there, howbeit many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing. That tells you that there are people that was law-abiding citizens that were affected by this thing too. Pay attention. There are, these people were law-abiding citizens. They served the Most High in spirit and truth. They was doing the right thing, and they were affected by this thing too. So you can be a law-abiding citizen, doing everything right, love the Most High, fear the Most High, and be affected. When the mark of the beast hit, you will be affected. You just need to have a plan. Instead of being distracted all day, every day with working, and the only thing that you're doing is working, you need to have a plan. And that one plan is gathering and coming together. Those of you that are here, you're in the right place. Now we have to continue so that we can pool our resources together, because one person can't do it. Okay. You need to be ready and prepared to bring the table, not just a portion, but a table collectively. And those that are not here, guess what? You need to start making your mind up so that you can be somewhere. If you're not here, you need to be somewhere with some Israelites and getting yourselves together, preparing yourself. Okay? So let's see. Well, First Maccabees chapter 1 and now 63. Wherefore they chose rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died. And there was a very great wrath upon Israel. There was a very great wrath upon Israel. Why was that wrath upon our people? For the breaking of the laws. Go to the curses in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28. Deuteronomy chapter 28. And verse 33. It says, the fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always, so that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes, which thou shalt see. Okay, now go back to First Maccabees chapter 1 and 64. There was a very great wrath. There was a crushing upon the Israelites. Go to the book of Nehemiah, chapter 9. Nehemiah chapter 9 and 26. It says, nevertheless, they were disobedient. So this is why the crushing came. This is why the wrath came. Are we paying attention? And rebelled against thee and cast thy law behind their backs. All it takes is for you to cast one law. If somebody say something to you and you don't want to do it, but you want to do what you want to do, that's you. You just cast the law of the Lord behind you and slew thy prophets. What's another word for slew or slain? Hate. Hate the prophets, which testified against them to turn them to thee. And they wrought great provocations, meaning they did great wickedness. Verse 7. Therefore thou deliverest them into the hand of their enemies. So why did the wrath fall upon Israel? You see how we pull everything with the scriptures? For the breaking of the laws. Who vexed them? Remember, Deuteronomy 28 told you that you're going to be mad for the sight of your eyes. You're going to be always oppressed and you're going to be crushed. And in the time of their trouble, when they cried unto thee, thou heardest them from heaven. Pay attention. So the Israelites, some of them humbled themselves, and the ones that was already keeping the Most High's commandments but were affected, they cried unto him. Thou heardest them from heaven, and according to thy manifold mercies, thou gavest them saviors. So that's right. The Most High gave them people that can help them, people that can teach them, people that can show them how to come out of that situation. Who saved them out of the hand of their enemies. Now go back to First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 1. The Most High has done this throughout all times. get to know your God by being obedient, man. Now you finna read about the saviors called the Maccabees brothers. It's a whole family of them. The Most High knew that Israel needed help. And this family was raised for that very moment. How do you know that you're not come to this for this moment? How do you know this? You got to get real with it. What if your sons is the next one of the next saviors that the Most High is raising to help the Israelites? What if your grandson is? What if the son that's gonna come out your loins? That's why you young brothers, you gotta choose wisely and don't just choose something walking down the doggone street. God can't use that. This is a game of strategy. You gotta be smart. Sisters, when you're chosen, make sure that a prophet chooses you. That's coming from God, not somebody that likes you, that thinks that you're cute and you gotta smile and no. It works both ways. You're somebody special too. So when you're chosen, make sure you are chosen by somebody special and not just in anybody. Israel been doing that all our lives and been wrong all our lives, going after just anybody. Like, hey, you could choose me. You like me? I guess I can try to like you. End up wrong. Your life is gone, wishing you had another one. But that's another story right there at another time. In those days arose Mattathias, the son of John, the son of Simeon, a priest of the sons of Joram from Jerusalem, and dwelt in Modin, and he had 5 sons. This story always excites me. So he had 5 sons: Joannan, called Thaddeus, Simon, called Thessi, Judas, called who was called Maccabeus, Eleazar, called Avarin, and Jonathan, whose surname was Alphas. And when he saw the blasphemies that were committed in Judah and Jerusalem, he said, "Woe is me." So he was a teaching priest. He was a Levite and his sons. Now the thing about this priest, Mattathias, he had 5 sons and he had them all with him. That's beautiful. He had 5 sons and he had all of his sons with him. That's a lot of work to maintain and handle 5 sons. He chose the right one. And the woman, she chose the right one. They had 5 sons, 5 saviors. That's right. It's a heck of a family. Blessed. That's why I try to be so tough on crime so you guys can get it right. So that you can get the same blessing. And you can. If you trust in the Most High with all your heart and don't lean to your emotions, but trust in the Most High, you can have this same success. I want to believe it. I do believe it. If you go after things through your emotions and your flesh, it ain't gonna work. And I ain't talking about the rebound. I can't take nothing from you. You're gonna rebound, that's on you. I want to see something exceptional, something extraordinary. something that other people are not doing. I want to see people sacrifice for what they believe in. With these human eyes, I like to see that. I know it and I can know it. It works. It works. But I'm just a man who am I with a desire to see righteousness. That's all it is. The desire to see righteousness. When he said, woe is me, wherefore was I born to see this misery of my people? Meaning why? But he was born for this purpose. And of the holy city to dwell there. When it was delivered into the hand of the enemy, and the sanctuary into the hand of strangers. Her temple has become as a man without glory. So this is how this is what Mattathias said. The temple was like a homeless man with no glory, nowhere to go, no place to be, no drive, no trying to come back. Her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity. Her infants are slain in the street. So he saw our babies killed. Her young men with the sword of the enemy. So they killed our men. What nation have not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils? So he saw what nation have not? He saw all the nations at one point or time coming through, doing damage. It's the same thing now today. All her ornaments are taken away. Of a free woman, she has become a bond slave. It's just like a woman that's being drizzled with ornaments and jewelry, and she wear it well. Earrings, nose ring, chains, bracelet, ankle bracelets, and things, and all of her jewelry taken from her. And now she has been abased and humbled as a servant, as a slave. And behold, our sanctuary, even our beauty and our glory, is laid waste. So that was one of the main attractions about the land of Jerusalem, the sanctuary. All the things in there was a lot of stuff was made of pure gold. Things that Solomon, if we go back and we read the work that Solomon did, you'd be surprised, man, amazed, man. Solomon he paid money to have all that stuff done. He had stuff shipped in from other countries, exotic stuff, built in that temple. And they ripped it all apart. Israel didn't love it with all the heart, with all the might, and with all the soul. And the Gentiles have profaned it. So the Lord allowed the Gentiles to profane it. To what end, therefore, shall we live any longer? Then Mattathias and his sons rent their clothes and put sackcloth and mourn very sad, or very sore. So they were sad. In the meanwhile, the king's officers, wait a minute, that word changed. Now it says officer. What was it before? Overseer. That's right. Now they telling it how it is, right? Officer. Now the king's officers, such as compelled the people to revolt, came into the city of Modin to make them sacrifice. If it says he was compelling the people to revolt, meaning he was making the people to go against the Lord, compelling them. And when many of Israel came unto them, Mattathias also and his sons came together. So remember, what is he doing? He's gathering the people to revolt against the Most High, to revolt against the laws, our way of life. But then who shows up? Mattathias shows up. Him and his sons, they show up. Then answered the king's officers and said to Mattathias on this wise, Thou art a ruler and an honorable and great man in the city. How did he know that? What'd you say? He ain't said nothing. He's not the one that was compelling people to revolt. It was the kings. But how did they know that? Remember, you got wicked Israelites. You got wicked Israel. Talking. Okay. And then he shows up. Now you don't think people know about you? People know about you. Yeah. People know about you. When you do the right thing, they know about you. When you do the right thing, you have a name. Okay? So they knew about Mattathias. And so when he showed up, you can tell the person that's not about the party, that's at the party. All right? And that's how he showed up, him and his sons. Okay? Surrounded by his sons, like pillars in this earth, stood up nice and stout and tall and righteous that weren't about riffraff. But everybody else, that's the revolt party. That's the rebellious. But these guys, they different. You can tell when somebody doesn't belong here. And then he came out his mouth and said, Thou art a ruler. So it's the same with Christ in Matthew and John, the 3rd chapter, when it says, We know that thou art a man that comes from God. See, we know that you come from the Most High. So they knew that this guy was a ruler and he was honorable and a great man in the city. So people in the city have been talking about him. The wicked has been talking about, like, who would we have a problem with? We're trying to do this, and we're gonna give you this. We're gonna make you a peon. You can be a peon over here for us. Giving them some fake status. That's what happened during the time of Christ, right? When the chief priests and Sadducees say, "Hey, man, the Romans will take away our peonship, take away our squirrelship. We won't be in the squirrels farm no more." And strengthened with sons and brethren. So he knew about the whole clique. Knew that Mattathias had help and everything. They wanted to get rid of the resistance. Somebody been snitching. Judah's going to give him stitches, though. Now, therefore, come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathen have done, and the men of Judah also, and such as remain in Jerusalem. So shalt thou and thy house be in the number of the king's friends, and thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold and many rewards. So look what it takes to get you to sell out. So if you don't out front do it, right now today, they make a way for you to earn this silver and gold called money. Why do you think there are so many people selling out, taking off their clothes and murderous rap music and whoredom love songs and uh, the way that people dress, you know, sporting sin, sporting toxic lasciviousness, things like that, right? All of that, silver and gold. And it's making you want to fashion yourself in the same fashion. So he told these guys that, hey, you be the first to do it. Come on up and do it. Let's see what happens. Then Mattathias answered and spake with a loud voice, because he wanted everybody. He got loud. He wanted everybody to hear it. Though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him. Wait a second. So who is he talking to? Obey him. He's talking to the crowd now. And fall away everyone from the religion of their fathers and give consent to his commandments. Get what I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers. So he is the light. He is the salt. He is an example. That's how you're supposed to be. You're not supposed to be saying, oh, well, they was just giving out stuff. I just went down there to get some stuff. Belly full of swine. God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances. We will not hearken to the king's words to go from our religion either on the right hand or on the left. Now, when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar, which was at Modin, according to the king's commandment. So now another person steps up. Which thing when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment, meaning he couldn't stop it, right? So what was he executing? He was executing Deuteronomy 13. Go to Deuteronomy 13 and 6. Were they all quadruplets? No, the answer is no. They were different ages. So listen up. Deuteronomy 13 and 6. If thy brother, the son of thy mother, or thy son, or thy daughter, or the wife of thy bosom, or thy friend, which is as thine own soul, entice thee secretly, saying, let us go and serve other gods, which thou hast not known, thou nor thy fathers, namely of the gods of the people which are round about thee, nigh unto thee or far off from thee, from one end of the earth even unto the other. Thou shalt not consent unto him, nor hearken to him, neither shall thy eye pity him, neither shall thou spare, neither shalt thou conceal him, but thou shalt surely kill him. Thy hand shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people. And thou shalt stone him with stones that he die, because he hath sought to thrust thee away from the Lord, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. So the example that he was doing was going to mislead people to go away from the Most High without fear, without consequence. So what did he do? He stepped right up and he put the guy to death to let him know this is the consequences that's going to come from what you're doing. And all Israel shall hear and fear, and shall do no more any such wickedness as this is among you. So now go back. So that's the judgment that he couldn't forbear to show. Forbear meaning he couldn't stop himself from showing it. So verse 24, the end of 24, wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar. Also the king's commissioner, who compelled men to sacrifice, also known as revolt, he killed at the time. So killed him. And the altar he pulled down. Thus dealt he zealously for the law of God, like as Phinehas did unto Zambri, the son of Shalom. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me. So he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all that they ever had in the city. So they left their possessions. Then many that sought after justice and judgment went down into the wilderness to dwell there, both they and their children, and their wives and their cattle, because afflictions increased sore upon them. So these people didn't leave right away, but they did end up leaving. Now when it was told the king's servants and the host that was at Jerusalem in the city of David that certain men who had broken the king's commandment were gone down into the secret places in the wilderness, they pursued after them a great number, and having overtaken them, they encamped against them and made war against them on the Sabbath day. So, in verse 29, ask a question, pay attention. In verse 29, it says, many that sought after justice and judgment went down into the wilderness to dwell. What did they do wrong? A, work too hard. What did they do wrong? Go ahead. Yes. Go ahead and elaborate. They took their time. They took their time. Go ahead.
So they took their time because they didn't actually leave when Mattathias was calling them saying, let's leave now.
Exactly. They tarried. When Mattathias told them, whoever is zealous of the Lord and maintain the covenant, let's go. They would have been delivered. They would have had help. They would have been protected. They did not do that. Remember, the difference is Mattathias and them left everything that they had. They left right away. They already knew who they killed, what they did. They wasn't finna go and pack up and this and that. They bounced. Shoot. These people hung around and waited till it got hot. And when they got hot, they tried to creep on out. They got away, but they got pursued. I'm telling us, cannot wait to the last moment. You cannot wait to the last. Yes, sir.
Don't they, don't they actually quote Christ said about the man that was on the top of the church?
Yes, that's a good example where Christ had told the people, when you see Jerusalem surrounded, if you're on a rooftop, get out of Dodge. Don't go down to get anything out of your house. Bam, get out of there. Hey guys, we so far behind. You know, I want y'all to think about, it's been a few years now that I've been experimenting with growing food. Why do you think I've been doing that? The beds, the beds and got bigger. I'm experimenting with more stuff, seeing what grows, how long it takes something to grow, what it takes for stuff to grow. It's been a few years now. Making a move like this is not something that's easy. You definitely have to, be motivated by faith to come together. But you definitely, you cannot wait to the last minute to do it. Then you get jammed up. Like, go to 2nd Ezra 16. Second Ezra 16. Let's see. It's 15. Second Ezra 15. Okay, Second Ezra chapter 15 and 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh." So the Most High was telling Ezra what would happen in the end of the world. So that's different from the Maccabees. The Maccabees was actually going through, this literally happened, what they was going through. The abomination of desolation that Daniel spoke of and that Christ prophesied, that this actually happened already. All right. So One people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. When it said they shall not regard their kings nor princes, remember what happened under Titus and Vespasian, where the the soldiers were so bloodthirsty with hate that they didn't listen no more. That's the nature of what he's saying, that they shall not regard their kings nor princes. And the course of their action shall stand in their power. They're gonna be doing whatever they want to do. Verse 17, I point, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So times has escalated. Instead of traveling on foot, you're not in no condition to travel on foot. You ain't got no horse to go through no woods. You got to get in the car. They got a roadblock down waiting for you. Just imagine if you had to travel on foot. Each and every last one of us. Just imagine if you had to walk home or run home or trot to your house. Those of you that live far away from here, you had to trot to your house. That's a distance. Just imagine if you're on foot forever, going wherever you think that's safe. Here it is. Or you're trying to get out of the city. Like we're in St. Louis, and you're trying to get out of St. Louis. You know how big the city is? Well, we're in bad shape because St. Louis, it's a city. Let's just call it a small city or municipality that's um, covered with black people. But once you hit the outskirts, I mean, you got to be careful, and it ain't hit the fan. So you have troublous times, and now you on foot in the outskirts. You have left the inner city because the Israelites is who they want to abuse. They're gonna turn against the Israelites. So people think that it's not gonna happen, or they think that they're gonna be fine because they consent, or they voted, they pay taxes, they got a gun. Please, you don't got man. None of that is gonna matter. So trying to escape, you escape the inner city. Now you get into the outskirts. Most people are racist, big time racist. You won't survive. I wish I was here to tell you what somebody told him at Tabernacles. I said, why you didn't say nothing? He said to get off the highway to come to the campsite. And a white man came up to him and walked around his car and was looking at it. And so Shai came out and said, can I help you? And he said, what you doing around here? And then Shai was like, what are you talking about? And then the white man said some more words to him, and Shai blew it off. And then he said, "You should stay here. I'll be back." And the white man got in his car and left. Now this was 2 or 3 months ago, up there where we go camping at. So You don't want to be. In other words, what I'm saying is, you don't want to be trying to go through their territories. Hey guys, listen up. You listening? That's why when I was talking about acreage, I was talking so much so that you're never trespassing, and that I know it's an astronomical number, a huge number, but it's all your land that you that you need. Wish I could turn these cameras off for a minute, but do everybody kind of know the gist of what I said I'm looking for? It's a lot, so you don't have to worry about being on somebody else's territory. Something the size of a city, like you own all of this together with the spirit of the Most High. We could do anything. We could do that together, but we got to stay focused. And having to go to work every day and have to raise children and do this and do that, you got to learn to do them both at the same time, keeping the plan in mind. All right? Because the point where I asked the question, like, what did they do wrong? They waited. Mattathias gave them an out. He said, come on, let's go. Okay, so let's go back. So first Maccabees chapter 2. I'll read 27 again. Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, and whosoever is zealous to the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me. These guys didn't do it. So let's jump over. Verse 32, they got pursued. They pursued after them a great number because they left late. Having overtaken them, they encamped against them and made war against them on the Sabbath. They said unto them, let that which you have done hitherto suffice, come forth and do according to the commandment of the king, and ye shall live. But they said, we will not come forth, neither will we do the king's commandment to profane the Sabbath day. So then they gave them the battle with all speed. Howbeit they answered them not, neither cast they a stone at them, nor stopped the places where they lay, but said, let us die in our innocency. Heaven and earth shall testify for us that ye put us to death wrongfully. So they rose up against them in the battle on the Sabbath and slew them with their wives and children and their cattle to a number of 1,000 souls or people. Now when Mattathias and his friends understood hereof, they mourned for them right sore. So what do you think Mattathias said to himself? They should have came with us. They should have came with us. And one of them said to another, if we all do as our brethren have done, and fight not for our lives and laws against the heathen, they will now quickly root us out of the earth. At that time, therefore, they decreed, saying, whosoever shall come to make battle with us on the Sabbath day, we will fight against him. Neither will we all die as our brethren that were murdered in the secret places. Then came there unto him a company of Assyrians, meaning from the tribe of Asher, who were mighty men of Israel, even all such as were voluntarily devoted unto the law. Also, all they that fled for persecution joined themselves unto them and were stayed unto them. So many people fled at another time and made it. They were able to join up and be reunited with Mattathias. Y'all see that? Right. It says that they were a stay to him too. They helped support him. They were a support. Okay. So they joined their forces and smote sinful men in their anger and wicked men in their wrath. But the rest fled to the heathen for succor. So the wicked of Israel left and went to the heathen. Why do you think they turned back to the heathen? Trail?
Because they felt more comfortable with the Eagles.
Okay, I'm sorry. Talk up to me, son.
I said that they felt more comfortable with the Eagles.
It felt more comfortable around the heathen. Okay, yeah. Yeah, they felt more comfortable with the heathen. So, you know, they like to sin. They say, we can go there and do that. All right. Then Mattathias and his friends went round about and pulled down the altars. And what children soever they found within the coast of Israel uncircumcised, those they circumcised valiantly. They mean they did it by force. Because what was that telling you? I was telling you that there were people that were compromising, right? Right. So sometimes when we deal with our people, we talk to them, we have to talk to them with a strong hand. They pursued also after the proud men, and the work prospered in their hands. So they recovered the law out of the hand of the Gentiles and out of the hand of kings. Neither suffered they the sinner to triumph. Now, when the time drew nigh that Mattathias should die, he said to his sons, now have pride and rebuke, God in strength. And the time of destruction and the wrath of indignation. Now therefore, my sons, be zealous for the law and give your lives for the covenant of your fathers. Call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time. So he's exhorting his sons to follow the righteous of Israel. So shall you receive honor and an everlasting name. I want to read verse 51 again. Pay attention, you brothers. He told his sons, Mattathias told his sons, call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time, meaning in their generation. So right now, what generation are you in? Let me see. Mike? Huh? What did he say?
Yeah, Gen Z.
Gen Z? What is that?
Generation
Gen Z? Gen Z? What is that? Like zombies or something? What is that? Gen Z.
They label each generation with a group like millennials and baby
So,
boomers.
so that's educational. Gen Z?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, carnally, that might be correct, but scripturally, I'm looking for something else. I'm looking for a more spiritual answer. VJ, what generation are you in? Corin? Burn? Burn? What generation are you in? Okay. You in your generation. Mm-hmm. You in your generation. So now let me read it and you understand. Hold up. Verse 51. Call to remembrance what acts out. So this is Mattathias when he was about to die. He's talking to his sons and he told them to think about, call to remembrance in your mind what acts our fathers did in their time. So in their time, meaning in their generation. So I ask you, what generation are you in? Are you in the ancient generations? You in your generation, you in your time. So in their time, the acts that they did, it says, so shall you receive great honor and an everlasting name. So you in your time, you must make do in the time that you live in. You got to get up and you have to rise to the occasion. You cannot live off of what Ezekiel did, Jeremiah did, etc., etc. You have got to uh, get get with the program and work the work in your time. Do we understand? Right. So during those times, they were major prophets. In your time, you are the major prophets. You are the major prophets in your time. So now it's time for you to carry the Israelites, carry this nation on your shoulders. That's how serious you have got to be about this. You cannot take it lightly and just read the book, but you do no actions. The acts of the book must inspire you to be courageous like they were, showing and proving yourself to be direct descendants from these people that you read about. So shall you receive honor and an everlasting name. So we get it? You understand it, Yeshua? Right. You guys gotta go after this with everything that you got. You get, let's say you get one shot at this. You get one life to live and then the judgment. Then the Most High is going to evaluate what you spent your time doing. Along the way, we fall, we get up. We make mistakes, okay. Count them and do them no more. So we're going to stop it there so we can get this wrapped up. And Lord's will, we'll pick this up on Thursday. Any questions? Matthew 26. Do I read it? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll get it.
It's gonna come on. Right, bring it down, but it's gonna come on.
Testing. Okay, so this is Matthew chapter 26, verse 6. Now when Christ was in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment. And she poured it on his head as he said to me. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. When Yahweh understood it, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. It says, for in this And she had poured this ointment on my body. She did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, whatsoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this that this woman had done and told for a memorial of her. So all praise unto the Most High that He gave this sister Mary a spirit of a broken contrite heart. We know the Most High, He said He would not at all despise a broken contrite heart. And whenever we preach this word about the 4 months of this earth, it's memorialized what this woman done. And also, she gave Christ a comfort before His burial. So with that, so
Hey, I appreciate it, sis. All the help because you set this up. I was running behind. I so appreciate you. It was. I said it was really set up nice. Appreciate it.
So we all should be working. The shorties came from the dollar store. Don't know which one.
Hey, you know what I'm used to? I'm used to doing it while I'm a cat. That's what I kind of. Let's say
Okay, Israelites. Let's see. All right, Israel, we gotta go. Sign Christ bless you all. Shalom.
I'll remember that next time. You know, you get so accustomed